Now, reality is there and reality can bite, but the way we encounter reality is always a construction. We never see things as they really are. We see things not as they are, we see them as we are.
There's a hidden world humming just beneath the surface of everything you see. Right now, as you sit here listening to these words, forces you can't see, feel, or even imagine are shaping your every experience. Your decisions, the people you meet, the paths you choose, all of it might not be as random as it seems. Think about it. How often have you felt like something, call it fate, luck, or divine intervention, was steering your life? What if it wasn't just a feeling? What if someone or something is quietly pulling the strings? The illusion of reality. Throughout human history, the question of who or what controls reality has haunted us. From ancient stories about gods playing games with mortals to modern whispers about secret societies and shadow governments, the idea that someone knows the real truth has always been tantalizing. But what if the answer isn't any of those? What if the true power behind reality is something so unexpected, so far beyond the limits of ordinary understanding, that even the wisest philosophers or most enlightened mystics only ever caught glimpses of it? Pause for a moment. Look around you. The objects in your room, the sky outside your window, the rhythm of your breathing, do they feel as solid, as certain as you've always thought? Scientists say the world is made of particles so small they barely exist. Philosophers have long argued that reality is more of an illusion than a fact. And ancient sages whispered of a veil, something thin but impenetrable, hiding the ultimate truth from our eyes. Could this veil be the key to understanding who's secretly controlling it all? But what if there's more to it? What if that maybe is a hint that someone, something, is choosing the outcomes? What if what we see as randomness or coincidence is actually a finely tuned system managed by an unseen hand? Imagine for a moment that reality is like a massive stage play. The props, costumes, and actors all feel real, but behind the scenes, there's a director orchestrating everything. This director doesn't care whether you believe in them or not. They're not interested in worship or recognition. Their power is subtle, their movements quiet. You feel their influence when a stranger says the exact words you needed to hear, or when a series of tiny, unrelated decisions suddenly aligns your life in ways you never expected. But who is this director, and why are they hiding? Some might argue it's God, as described by countless religions. Others might say it's the universe itself, a cosmic intelligence far beyond human comprehension. But what if it's neither, or both? Hindu philosophy speaks of Maya, the illusion that binds us to this physical world. Maya isn't evil, but it's a trickster. It makes you believe you're separate from the divine, from others, and even from yourself. Could the true controller of reality be tied to this illusion? Consider this. Every belief system from Christianity to Buddhism has some version of a hidden truth. The Gnostics spoke of a divine knowledge kept away from the masses, guarded by archons, spiritual entities with their own agenda. In Zen Buddhism, enlightenment is described as awakening from a dream you didn't even know you were in. What if these ancient teachings were all pointing toward the same secret, each interpreting it through the lens of their time and culture? The modern world loves to dismiss these ideas. We're told life is just biology, physics, and chemistry, atoms colliding in endless chaos. But even science has its mysteries. Quantum physics has proven that particles behave differently when observed, as though they're aware of being watched. This phenomenon, known as the observer effect, raises an unsettling question. Who's watching the watchers? It's no coincidence that ancient texts and cutting-edge science often overlap. They both speak of interconnectedness, of unseen forces binding the universe together. Maybe the real secret isn't that someone is controlling reality, but that reality itself is alive, an infinite conscious being dreaming everything into existence. And if that's true, then the controllers aren't separate from you. They're woven into every breath you take, every thought you think. But don't get comfortable yet. This isn't just about warm, fuzzy ideas of unity. The hidden controllers, whatever they are, don't always seem benevolent. Why else would suffering exist? Why else would chaos so often reign? If they're truly in charge, why would they allow such darkness in their design? Theologians might call this the problem of evil, while philosophers debate whether free will even exists. But what if the answer lies not in why things happen, but in how they're meant to transform us? In the story of Job from the Bible, a man loses everything, his wealth, his family, even his health. Yet through his suffering, he gains something deeper, a confrontation with the divine. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth?" God asks Job, a reminder of the incomprehensible vastness of reality. Could it be that the controllers, whoever they are, operate on a scale so immense that our minds can barely grasp their intentions? As you sit with these questions, notice how they begin to stir something inside you. Maybe it's doubt, curiosity, or even discomfort. That's the first sign that you're brushing against the edges of the unseen world. The truth, if it can be called that, isn't something you can simply read about or hear. It has to be experienced, piece by piece, as you peel back the layers of illusion. The hidden blueprint. What if I told you the world you're living in isn't the real world at all, that it's not just a stage play, as we touched on earlier, but a meticulously crafted simulation, a reality so convincing that even the sharpest minds and the deepest thinkers are trapped in its design? You might feel a surge of skepticism, or maybe a flicker of recognition. After all, haven't you felt it before? That nagging sense that something's off, that life doesn't quite add up in the way you've been taught to believe. The idea of reality being an illusion isn't new. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Indian sages spoke of Maya, the great cosmic deception that keeps humanity bound to a cycle of ignorance. Plato's allegory of the cave painted a haunting picture of prisoners shackled in darkness, mistaking shadows for reality because they've never seen the light of day. Unearthed in 1945, the Nag Hammadi texts, a collection of Gnostic scriptures, paint a startling picture of reality. The Gnostics taught that the physical world is a construct, crafted not by a benevolent God but by archontic forces, entities who thrive on keeping humanity bound to illusion. These forces, which they referred to as the archons, manipulate perception and obscure the truth. But who or what are the archons? Some interpretations describe them as interdimensional beings, parasites feeding on human ignorance. Others see them as metaphors for the systems of control we've created, political regimes, corporate power structures, or even the limits of our own minds. Regardless of their form, the message is clear. Something is keeping us from seeing reality as it truly is. This illusion, according to the Gnostics, is not just external, it's deeply embedded in our consciousness. We are born into a world of distractions, conditioned to accept the surface as the truth. The Archon's greatest weapon is their ability to make us believe that this material plane is all there is. And today, our own technology has given rise to theories of simulated worlds, as though the philosophers and mystics of old had glimpsed something our modern minds are just now beginning to grasp. But this isn't a story about computers or digital trickery. This is about something deeper, an ancient force that predates human understanding, weaving reality like a master artist painting on an infinite canvas. Some call it God, others the universe, or even destiny. But those names barely scratch the surface. Imagine a blueprint so vast, so intricate, that every heartbeat, every gust of wind, and every star in the night sky fits perfectly into its design. Who or what could create something like that? Let's return for a moment to the observer effect, the strange phenomenon in quantum physics where particles change behavior simply because they're being watched. It's as if reality itself responds to consciousness, bending and shifting under the weight of attention. Could this mean that whoever or whatever is behind the scenes isn't just observing us, but actively shaping our experiences? In the Bible, there's a curious passage in the book of Genesis where God says, Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness. Who is us? This question has puzzled scholars for centuries. Some interpret it as the Holy Trinity, others suggest it refers to angelic beings. But what if it's something even more provocative? What if it hints at a council of creators, a collective intelligence working together to mold reality? The ancient Gnostics believed in something similar. They spoke of a divine source they called the pleroma, the fullness of all things, from which emanated lesser beings known as eons. But not all these beings were benevolent. One, called the demiurge, was said to have created the material world, not out of malice but out of ignorance. To the Gnostics, this world was a flawed copy of the divine realm, and the demiurge ruled it, believing himself to be the supreme power. Could the controllers of reality be like the demiurge, limited in their scope but still unimaginably powerful from our perspective? Then there's the matter of synchronicities, those bizarre coincidences that feel too meaningful to be random. Carl Jung, the famed psychoanalyst, described them as a causal connecting principles, moments where the inner world of thought and the outer world of events seem to align in mysterious ways. For example, have you ever thought of someone you hadn't spoken to in years, only for them to call you hours later, or stumbled upon exactly the piece of information you needed, as though the universe itself had placed it in your path? These moments aren't accidents. They're the breadcrumbs of the hidden blueprint, tiny signs that someone or something is guiding the flow of events. But here's where it gets even stranger. What if the controllers of reality aren't outside of you at all? What if they're embedded within your very being, influencing your thoughts and actions from the inside out? Consider the teachings of mystics and sages across cultures, from the Sufis of the Islamic tradition to the yogis of Hinduism. They speak of a divine spark within every person, a piece of the infinite hidden beneath layers of ego and illusion. The Gospel of Thomas, a text excluded from the Bible's canon, records Jesus saying, "The kingdom of God is within you." If that's true, then the ultimate power over reality might not be in some distant realm or some other worldly being. It could be you. But don't misunderstand, this doesn't mean you're consciously controlling every detail of your life. Far from it. The forces shaping your reality work on levels of your mind and soul that you can't easily access. Some call it the subconscious, others the higher self. But whatever you name it, this part of you is deeply intertwined with the fabric of existence itself, like a single thread in a vast cosmic tapestry. And yet, there's still more to uncover. If we are co-creators of our reality, why do we feel so powerless? Why does suffering exist? And why do our lives often seem dictated by forces beyond our control? The answer lies in the balance between free will and destiny, a paradox that has perplexed humanity since the dawn of thought. In Hindu philosophy, this balance is captured by the concept of karma. While often misunderstood as mere cause and effect, karma is actually about the interplay of your actions, your intentions, and the cosmic laws governing existence. It's not punishment or reward, but a means of growth, a system designed to teach and refine the soul. Could it be that the controllers of reality use something like karma to guide us, shaping our experiences not out of malice, but as part of a larger purpose? The ancient texts, the modern discoveries, the strange coincidences, they all point toward a truth. Reality is not what it seems. It never has been, and the controllers, whoever they are, have been hiding in plain sight all along. The chaos conspiracy. Imagine standing at the edge of a storm, watching as chaos rages around you. The winds tear through the air, scattering debris, and the thunder shakes the ground beneath your feet. It feels overwhelming, destructive, even terrifying. But what if this chaos wasn't meaningless? What if it was intentional? A necessary force orchestrated by the hidden controllers of reality. If you think about it, chaos is everywhere. It's in the breaking of waves on the shore, the sudden upheaval of a life-changing event, and the moments when everything seems to fall apart. And yet somehow, it's in those moments of destruction that something new begins to emerge. This paradox of chaos and creation isn't just a coincidence, it's the heartbeat of existence itself. The ancient Greeks had a word for this: chaos. To them, it wasn't just disorder or confusion, it was the primordial void, the fertile ground from which all things were born. Out of chaos came Gaia, the earth, and the first stirrings of life. In Norse mythology, the world itself emerged from a chaotic clash between fire and ice. Even in the Bible, the Spirit of God moved over the formless void before speaking creation into being. These stories aren't just myths, they're clues, fragments of an ancient understanding that chaos is not the end, it's the beginning. But why would the controllers of reality use chaos as a tool? To answer that, we must look at the nature of transformation. Think of a forest fire. At first glance, it's devastating. Trees are consumed, animals flee, and the landscape is left charred and barren. Yet, in the ashes, new life takes root. Seeds that couldn't sprout before are now free to grow. The fire, destructive as it seemed, was a catalyst for renewal. The same principle applies to us. When chaos enters our lives, whether it's a sudden loss, a betrayal, or an unexpected twist, it feels like everything is crumbling. But often, it's in those very moments that we find clarity, strength, and a path we never would have seen otherwise. The controllers of reality, whoever they are, seem to understand this. They use chaos not to punish, but to push. It's a nudge, sometimes a shove, toward growth and evolution. This idea aligns with the concept of the dark night of the soul, a term rooted in Christian mysticism but echoed across spiritual traditions. It describes a period of intense struggle and confusion, a time when everything familiar falls away. Yet those who endure it often emerge with a profound sense of purpose and enlightenment. Could it be that the hidden controllers deliberately orchestrate these dark nights to awaken us to a greater reality? Interestingly, modern science also hints at the importance of chaos. In systems theory, there's a concept known as the edge of chaos. It's the point where order and disorder collide, creating a space ripe for innovation and growth. Life itself exists at this edge. Too much order and systems become stagnant, too much chaos and they collapse. But at the edge, there's a delicate balance, a dance between destruction and creation that gives rise to complexity and beauty. If we zoom out, it starts to make sense. Chaos isn't random. It's a pattern we're too close to see, like staring at a single thread in a massive tapestry. The controllers of reality, whether they are divine beings, cosmic forces, or aspects of our own higher consciousness, use chaos to weave something far beyond our understanding. But here's the twist. Chaos isn't just something that happens to us, it's something that happens through us. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts and emotions ripple outward, affecting not just your own life but the lives of those around you? A harsh word spoken in anger can create ripples of conflict, while a kind gesture can inspire ripples of joy. In this way, we become co-creators of the chaos or harmony that shapes reality. This brings us to the idea of personal responsibility. If the controllers of reality are using chaos to guide and transform us, then our role is to learn how to navigate it. The ancient Taoists spoke of living in harmony with the Tao, the flow of the universe. They taught that resistance only creates suffering, while acceptance allows us to move with the current rather than against it. In practical terms, this means embracing the storms in your life instead of fearing them. When chaos strikes, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What new path is opening up that I couldn't see before? It's not an easy mindset to adopt, but it's one that leads to resilience and growth. And yet, there's still an unanswered question. If chaos is a tool, then what is the ultimate purpose? Why would the hidden controllers go to such lengths to guide us through cycles of destruction and creation? Some believe it's about awakening, a gradual process of peeling back the layers of illusion until we see reality for what it truly is. Others suggest it's about evolution, not just of our physical selves, but of our consciousness. Think about the caterpillar, content in its limited world, until one day everything changes. It dissolves into a chaotic soup within the cocoon, a process that seems like death. But from that chaos emerges a butterfly, a creature of light and air. What if we too are in the midst of such a transformation? What if the controllers of reality are guiding us through the chaos, not to destroy us, but to awaken something within us that has been dormant for far too long? For now, take a moment to reflect. The chaos in your life isn't meaningless. It's part of the grand design, a force that's shaping you into something extraordinary. What if I told you that time isn't what it seems? That the ticking of the clock, the turning of the calendar, and even your memories of yesterday are all part of a carefully constructed illusion? If chaos is the tool of transformation, then time is the scaffolding upon which reality is built. A structure that the hidden controllers use to guide us, contain us, and perhaps liberate us. The timelines within time. Think about it. We live our lives as though time is linear, a straight path stretching from the past through the present and into the future. But what if it's not a line at all? Ancient philosophies and modern physics agree on one startling possibility. Time is not what we think. It bends, loops, and overlaps in ways that defy ordinary understanding. In Hindu cosmology, time is seen as cyclical. Ages or yugas repeat in vast cosmic cycles, each with its own characteristics and lessons. The Mayans, too, envisioned time as circular, their intricate calendar mapping not just dates but patterns of cosmic energy. These ancient views challenge our modern assumption that time is a straight line marching relentlessly forward. But here's the kicker, even our science now hints at the malleability of time. Einstein's theory of relativity revealed that time is not absolute. It stretches and contracts depending on factors like speed and gravity. And quantum physics has uncovered phenomena so strange they seem to defy causality itself. Particles affecting one another across vast distances instantaneously, as though time and space don't even exist. Could the controllers of reality be working within these strange laws of time? Imagine for a moment that they see time not as a sequence but as a tapestry, every moment existing simultaneously. From their vantage point, they might pluck threads from different eras, weaving them together to create the reality we experience. This would explain something that mystics and philosophers have long spoken of, the eternal now. Many spiritual traditions teach that the past and future are illusions, and only the present moment is real. Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now echoes this idea, urging us to anchor ourselves in the present to escape the suffering caused by time-bound thinking. But if the present is all that's real, then why do we remember the past and plan for the future? This is where things get even more intriguing. What if our memories and anticipations are not entirely our own? What if the controllers of reality are influencing them, shaping not just what we experience, but how we perceive it? Consider déjà vu, that eerie sensation that you've lived a moment before. Scientists might explain it as a glitch in memory processing, but what if it's something more? What if it's a ripple in the timeline, a brief glimpse of the greater tapestry? And what about prophetic dreams, or those inexplicable moments of knowing something before it happens? Could these be breadcrumbs left by the controllers, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of reality? The Bible offers a fascinating perspective on time manipulation. In the book of Ecclesiastes it says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven." This suggests that time is not random but purposeful, each moment carefully orchestrated. And in the book of Revelation, the idea of an eternal realm beyond time, a place where time no longer matters, is a central theme. Could the controllers exist in this timeless dimension, reaching into our world to steer events? Then there's the concept of alternate timelines. Modern theorists and ancient mystics alike suggest that every choice we make creates a branching path, a new reality where different outcomes play out. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics supports this idea, proposing that countless parallel universes exist, each as real as the one we perceive. If this is true, then the controllers might not be limited to our timeline. They could be navigating between these parallel worlds, nudging us onto the paths that serve their purpose, or perhaps ours. When you face a crossroads in life, when your choices seem to weigh heavily on your soul, could it be that you're feeling the tug of these unseen forces pulling you toward a particular destiny? But why would they do this? Why guide us through time at all? The answer might lie in the concept of soul evolution. Many spiritual traditions teach that life is a journey of growth, with each experience designed to teach us something essential. Time then becomes a classroom, and the controllers are the teachers, or perhaps the architects of the lessons themselves. In Buddhism, the idea of samsara describes the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Souls move through lifetimes, accumulating karma and gradually working toward enlightenment. In this view, time isn't just a measurement, it's a crucible, shaping and refining the soul. Could the controllers be overseeing this process, ensuring that we encounter the experiences we need to grow? Yet there's another possibility, one that challenges everything we've assumed so far. What if the controllers aren't guiding us for our benefit? What if their manipulation of time is a form of control, a way to keep us trapped in an endless loop of illusion? The Gnostics believed that the material world was a prison, and time was one of its chains. To them, the demiurge, whom we discussed earlier, used time to keep souls bound to the physical realm, unable to see the higher reality beyond. Could our experience of time be a tool, not of liberation, but of confinement? This brings us to a critical question. If the controllers are shaping our perception of time, how can we break free? The answer perhaps lies in awareness. By becoming conscious of the ways time influences us, our fears of the future, our regrets about the past, we can begin to loosen its grip. Contemplative presence is one path to this awareness. When you sit in stillness, focusing on your breath, you step out of the flow of time. For a moment, you exist purely in the present, connected to something beyond the ticking clock. Mystics and sages throughout history have spoken of this timeless state as the key to awakening. But awareness isn't just about stillness, it's about noticing the patterns in your life, the synchronicities, the moments when time seems to bend. These are the clues left by the controllers, hints that reality is far more intricate than we can comprehend. The hidden hands revealed. In every corner of human history, whispers of unseen forces have shaped the way we view reality. Whether they've been called gods, spirits, or extraterrestrials, one thing remains constant. Something, or someone, has been steering the course of existence. Now, we're finally closing in on the most shocking revelation of all. To understand the identity of these hidden controllers, we must first revisit one of the oldest spiritual concepts: duality. Light and dark, good and evil, creation and destruction. These forces have always been locked in an eternal dance. The ancient Taoists symbolized this duality with the yin and yang, emphasizing that opposing forces are not enemies, but partners in balance. Yet, within this harmony lies a deeper truth. Neither light nor dark is ever truly in control. They are both part of something larger, something that exists beyond duality itself. What if the hidden controllers operate outside this duality? Think of them as the architects of reality's rules, manipulating light and shadow alike to achieve their enigmatic purpose. This brings us to a startling realization. They may not conform to our ideas of morality. They might not be good or evil as we understand those terms. Instead, their motives could be entirely alien, driven by principles we cannot yet fathom. Let's consider a parable from the Bible, the story of Job. Here, God allows Satan to test Job's faith by subjecting him to unimaginable suffering. From a human perspective, this seems cruel, even unjust. But from a divine perspective, Job's trials are part of a larger plan, one meant to deepen his spiritual understanding. Could this story be an allegory for how the hidden controllers operate? Are they orchestrating events that appear chaotic or painful to us, all in the name of a greater purpose? In Hindu philosophy, there is a similar concept, Leela, the divine play. The universe, according to this belief, is a cosmic drama enacted by the gods. Every joy and sorrow, every triumph and failure is part of this grand performance. The controllers, then, might be the ultimate playwrights, crafting a narrative so vast and complex that we can only grasp fragments of it. But who are they? Some believe they are divine beings, angels, ascended masters, or manifestations of God. Others suggest they might be extraterrestrials, advanced entities from other dimensions or distant galaxies. Still others propose that they are archetypes within our own collective unconscious, projections of humanity's deepest fears and desires. The truth, as always, is likely more complex. Let's explore these possibilities one by one. If the controllers are divine beings, their motives might align with spiritual evolution. Many religious texts describe celestial entities tasked with guiding humanity. In Christianity, angels are often depicted as messengers and protectors, working to carry out God's will. In Islam, the concept of malaika describes beings of pure light, existing to serve divine purposes. Could these descriptions point to the controllers, subtly influencing events to align with a divine plan? Yet their actions don't always seem benevolent. Wars, natural disasters, and personal tragedies often feel like the work of cruel or indifferent forces. This has led some to believe that the controllers are not gods, but extraterrestrials. The ancient astronaut theory suggests that advanced beings visited Earth long ago, influencing our civilizations, religions, and even our DNA. The mysterious monuments of the past, like the pyramids of Egypt or the Nazca lines in Peru, are often cited as evidence of their handiwork. But what if these beings never left? What if they're still here, not as visitors but as overseers, watching from the shadows as humanity struggles to make sense of their influence? Some UFO researchers argue that sightings of unidentified craft and accounts of alien abductions are glimpses of the controllers at work. If this seems far-fetched, consider the third possibility, that the controllers are neither gods nor aliens, but projections of our own minds. The psychologist Carl Jung wrote extensively about the collective unconscious, a reservoir of shared human experiences and archetypes. According to Jung, figures like the wise old man, the trickster, and the shadow self are not just literary devices, they are universal symbols deeply embedded in our psyches. Could the controllers be manifestations of this collective unconscious? This would explain why they appear differently to different cultures and individuals. To some, they are angels. To others, they are extraterrestrials. To still others, they are abstract forces beyond form or comprehension. This theory aligns with the Buddhist concept of Maya, the illusion of reality. If the world we perceive is a projection of our minds, then the controllers might not exist independently at all. Instead, they could be aspects of ourselves, shaping our experience from within. But if that's the case, why do they feel so external, so other? The answer might lie in our own fear of the unknown. When we encounter something beyond our understanding, we externalize it, imagining it as a separate force rather than an integral part of ourselves. This is why the controllers often seem so mysterious. They are mirrors, reflecting our own complexity back at us. And yet, there is one final possibility, one that ties all these threads together. What if the controllers are all of these things at once? Divine beings, extraterrestrials, and projections of our own consciousness, different facets of the same ultimate truth. In many mystical traditions, this truth is called the One, the Source, or simply God. It is the origin of all things, the infinite intelligence from which everything arises. If the controllers are agents of this source, then their actions, however incomprehensible they may seem, are part of a cosmic design. But here's the twist. If we are part of the source, then we are the controllers too. This is the great paradox of existence. We are both the architects and the inhabitants of reality, both the dreamers and the dream. The power within you. The power to shape reality has always been inside you. The ancient sages, mystics, and philosophers have whispered this secret for centuries, hidden in teachings that often seem abstract or cryptic. But at the heart of every great spiritual tradition is the same message. You are both the creator and the created. Let's unpack this, starting with the concept of the microcosm and macrocosm. This idea, found in Hermeticism and echoed in many spiritual traditions, states that the universe is a reflection of the individual, and the individual is a reflection of the universe. In other words, the entire cosmos exists within you. This isn't just poetic metaphor, it's a profound truth. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions ripple outward, influencing the world around you in ways both subtle and profound. Have you ever noticed how your mood can affect an entire room? Or how focusing on a goal with unwavering belief seems to draw opportunities into your life? These are not coincidences, they are the echoes of your creative power at work. Now, let's connect this to the controllers. If they are part of the same source as you, then their influence on reality is not separate from yours. They might act as guides, nudging humanity toward growth and evolution, but they are not the sole architects of existence. You are a co-creator in this grand design. This idea aligns with the Hindu concept of Atman, the inner self or soul. According to the Upanishads, Atman is not distinct from Brahman, the ultimate reality. This means that the divine resides within you, and by understanding your true nature, you can access the same creative power as the controllers. But why don't we feel this power in our daily lives? Why do we feel so small, so disconnected from the forces shaping reality? The answer lies in the illusions we've built around ourselves. In Buddhism, there's a term called avidya, or ignorance. It refers to the mistaken belief that we are separate from the rest of existence. This illusion creates fear, doubt, and a sense of helplessness. But when we begin to see through this veil, we realize that the boundaries we perceive are not real. The controllers, the divine, the universe itself, they are not out there. They are part of us. Think about the placebo effect, one of the most fascinating phenomena in modern science. When people believe they are receiving effective treatment, their bodies often heal themselves, even if the treatment is a sugar pill. This is a glimpse of your innate power to shape reality. Your beliefs, your perceptions, your intentions, they are the tools through which you create your world. But this power comes with responsibility. If you are a co-creator of reality, then every thought, word, and action carries weight. The ancient Hawaiians understood this through the practice of Ho'oponopono, a method of reconciliation and forgiveness. They believed that by taking responsibility for everything in your experience, you could heal not just yourself, but the world around you. This brings us to the most practical question of all. How can you harness your creative power to align with the hidden controllers and create a better reality? The answer is both simple and profound, through awareness, intention, and love. Awareness is the first step. To shape reality, you must first understand it. This means observing your thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. Notice the patterns in your life, the recurring challenges, the moments of joy, the relationships that shape you. These patterns are clues guiding you toward greater self-understanding. Intention is the second step. Once you are aware of your patterns, you can begin to change them. Set clear, positive intentions for what you want to create in your life. Focus on these intentions with unwavering belief and take inspired action to bring them to fruition. Finally, love is the foundation. Love is not just an emotion, it is the highest frequency of energy, the force that connects all things. When you act from a place of love, love for yourself, for others, and for the world, you align with the controllers and the divine plan. You become a conduit for creation, channeling the energy of the universe into reality. Let's return to the concept of Lila, the divine play. If the universe is a cosmic drama, then you are both an actor and the playwright. You have the power to shape your role, to rewrite the script, and to direct the unfolding story. But here's the most liberating truth. There is no single, correct way to play your part. The controllers are not judging you or demanding perfection. They are inviting you to explore, to experiment, and to grow. Every choice you make, every path you take, adds to the richness of the cosmic tapestry. In the end, the question is not who's secretly controlling reality right now. It's what reality will you choose to create? The controllers are watching, yes, but not as masters or puppeteers. They are collaborators, co-creators, and reflections of the same divine essence that flows through you. The power has always been yours. Now it's time to use it. Step into your role as a creator. Embrace the unknown with courage and curiosity. And remember, the greatest mystery of all is not who's controlling reality. It's the infinite potential of what reality can become. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.